All right, we're gonna try something different, chat. You guys ready for a crash course on Mornye? Your lovely broad blade laser shooter from the sky is a support healer and gives damage amp. She has rupture strain, but she does not apply them. Okay, this is really, really important, guys. She does not apply, at least currently, as far as I'm testing. Also, Mornye will likely have the shortest guide from me because she is functionally a very simple character. So that's a good thing for you guys. Good thing for you guys. She's functionally very simple. So she's a support healer, damage amp. You can expect this from the outro ability. Basically tune stuff, right? But major thing, she cannot apply these debuffs to the enemy. This is Lene only. So that is important. Tune build-up efficiency, basically just you press F faster. Normal attack is fusion damage. Resonant skill, healing. Very nice. Also, chat, is it parry state? There's a lot of subtle things about this. But I personally, it's okay. You can parry with it. You don't naturally use it in her rotation that much, though, because you're not going to be on the ground for that often. So, yeah. And then ult, fusion damage. Excess regen increases this skill's crit and crit damage. Casting this skill generates an enhanced field. Enhanced field lasts for 25 seconds like a domain, right? Continuously restores HP, gives you defense and off-tune build-up rate, and higher resistance to interruption. So you guys notice here, chat? You guys notice here? Her excessive regen, so she's like Shorekeeper, right? Increases the skill's crit rate and crit damage. So she's not going to be buffing crit rate and crit damage. She'll be buffing different stuff. But her own ultimate does do decent damage. Yeah? Alright. Anything else that's important? Forte. Ground mode. Then you have flight mode, okay? So she's on the ground and she flies. She has an enhanced heavy. Enhanced heavy, she goes into flight mode. She'll fly for 30 seconds. This is the same field as before. When you are in flight mode, she has another heavy. That extra heavy marks the target for 30 seconds. Marking the target, they take more damage. And don't worry about the mark, killing the enemy in time. When they die, Mornye will mark them again. Intro, deals fusion damage, cool. Outro, damage amp, cool. Alright, so this is probably where we care more about this stuff. Combat guide, okay? So she generates a field. This field restores HP, which is pretty nice. Off-tune build-up rate, so more Fs. Inflict a mark on targets, increases the damage the target takes, and then damage amp. So yeah. All this is the same stuff. You don't have to worry about it too much, just left click. Okay, so a little bit more details on this, right? Little bit more details on this. Her skill, pretty simple. Heals nearby resonators and you enter a parry state. You counter if you successfully block an ability. Otherwise, you can specifically normal attack to cast a second attack, and it's slightly slower than just basic attack spamming though. If you successfully counter, you will quote unquote stagnate targets and reduce the cooldown of it, but you don't stagnate time, which is the really, really important thing. So stagnating here is not necessarily a benefit if you're looking for clear time. It does slow down the enemy though, which can be useful, but not the actual timer. So that's important. She has a new enhanced E. That's basically what this says. Her liberation converts excess regen. You guys can probably see what this is, right? Builds basically the same way as Shorekeeper. You get 1% excess up to 260%. You get 80% crit rate and 160% crit damage. And then the field that it produced, you get 20% defense, you get off-field buildup, resistant interruption, and 40% more healing. All of this extra stuff is the Forte. I'll explain in the guide. It's very easy. You don't have to read all this shit. Also massive text, chat. Massive text on flight mode. Massive text on flight mode. All of this basically is describing press spacebar to end it. You can dodge 3 times after you get a hit. And I think that's it, mostly. And she has another heavy attack. It's a massive essay that describes 3 things. Jumping cancels, so don't jump. She can fly, and when she dodges, if you get hit and you dodge, you basically don't get knocked down, which is really useful. Anyways, second Forte is very important. Second Forte, you do the heavy attack, you mark targets. Right here, very important, guys, very important. Every 1% of Mornye's enemy regen exceeding 100%, basically, when Mornye is 260% energy regen, okay? 260% is the golden value to be here, right? When 260%, damage taken by enemies increased by 40%. I'm pretty sure this is final damage. Pretty sure this is a unique multiplier. It's not damage bonus, but it's also not damage multiplier increased. This is, if you guys are familiar with HSR and vulnerability percent, this is what this is. It's like a branding effect. So this should be a unique multiplicative multiplier. Okay? Okay. This basically says that the mark will transfer to enemies, so don't worry about it. Whenever you attack stuff. And 25% damage amp. You'll notice that this is slightly stronger. What's Shorekeeper's, chat? Shorekeeper's damage amp, I think, is slightly weaker than this. I don't remember what it is, 15, 20%? I don't fucking remember. But it is smaller than this. So Mornye is raw power creep on this front. And then finally, Mornye can access these new tune features. Same description as Lene. No need to discuss this. Important thing about Tune Break that you guys should know. Each character who can quote unquote respond to Tune, when you press F on the enemy, multiple instances of damage will happen. Multiple instances of damage will happen. So basically, when you press F, you'll do a flat, like, gray color damage. You guys know that, right? If you have Lene in your team, you do that flat gray damage, and you do yellow damage, like both. So you get double damage, okay? When you add Mornye or any other person who can respond, you get another one. You're getting 3 damage when you press F. And the off-tune build-up rate is you can do it more often, which is pretty nice, okay? That's basically it. So you have flat damage, you have yellow damage from Lene, and now you're gonna have red damage from Mornye. That's the TLDR. Now, I'm gonna say Mornye's damage is a lot lower than Lene's, but that's expected. So yeah. Why is bro explaining when we'll just watch his video? Well, because Crash Course for second channel gets me more views. Like, my video is gonna be an official video if you want to listen to that. But second channel, this is just for double dipping in views. My second channel is different reach. So yeah. Free 10% regen, chat. Free, look at this. Look at this, chat. Free Concerto Energy. Free Concerto Energy. 20 from intro. 20 from flight mode basic attack. So they really are trying to get your intros to go easy. Very, very, very easy. You should not struggle with your outro skill with this. Very nice. It's very nice to play. Alright. All of this text, chat, is basically saying she gives your team 4 extra lives. Absolute cinema. You thought Cyrene? You thought Cyrene was recover your team? No, this is 4 extra lives. Okay? This is 4 extra lives. You get 3 when you take damage more than 30%. So if you get hit really fucking hard, one time, but you haven't used any of this, you will only take 30% of your max HP, okay? You only take 30%. That can happen 3 times, okay? 3 times. After that, if you were to die, you don't die, okay? After the 3, if you were to die, you just don't die. That's the 4th one. So you get 4 lives here, okay? You get 4 lives here. She needs to be on the team. Chat, I was just memeing. I was just shitposting. Probably starting a war in my YouTube comments, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just rage baiting a little bit. It's all good. So Chisa is just a fraud. I will not speak about Chisa. If I speak, I may be in big trouble. If I speak, I will not mention Chisa. Guys, was that Crash Course better? I think I eliminated a lot of the essaying, low-key. This is also the first mention of her being def scaling. Where is it? Oh, you're right. Okay, well, chat, if it was not clear, Mornye is defense scaling. You're right. I didn't mention it because I didn't want to avoid anything, but you're right. This is the first time it says it. All right, guys, you ready for Twitter Blue? Guys, it's time to go again. Holy cinema. First off, guys. Hold on. Very important. Those of you who know, okay? Those of you who know. Before we get into it, you guys will understand this later. Okay? Oh! Holy moly. Okay. Let's actually do a little bit of a review here. Damn, that's crazy. A huge energy regen signature weapon for our juicy new shorekeeper of 3.x. To all F2P weapon banner haters, this below image might help your Mornye. Oh wait, so why? Why is this important, guys? Why is this important? Let's cover, guys. Why is this important? 77% regen base stat. Okay? 77% regen base stat. Okay? Increased def. No one cares. Liberation restores 8 concerto energy once per rotation. Heal Resonator, increase crit damage of all nearby resonators in the team by 20% for 4 seconds. Okay? 20% for 4 seconds. Holy cinema! Discord, 51.8% regen. Okay? First important thing, 51.8% regen. R5, when Resonance skill is cast, restores 16 concerto energy. 16! Once per rotation. New weapon gives you 8 on R1. You're not going to get R5 of this. 16% defense and 20 crit damage. All resonators. So basically, chat, you are pulling this weapon specifically for this. You are pulling this weapon specifically for 20% crit damage on all your resonators. Thoughts? It's all resonators, right? But again, sub DPS and your support might not be using that much, but essentially 20% crit damage. Because Mornye herself does like a little bit of damage, but like not significant. But yeah. For 4 seconds, this is just a bait. Do not worry about this. Do not worry about this. Mornye has 100% uptime. You never have to worry about this. She is permanently healing your team every 3 seconds, so don't worry about it. It will never, it won't come off. There's not a point in time where she's not healing your team. Yeah. How much does the def matter? Barely anything. That's it, boys. Crash course for Mornye. Full guy will be out on main channel. Full guy will be out on main channel. Hope you enjoyed this crash course. Toodles.